how are you doing? I have this beautiful Trezor Safe 5 in my hand. If you want this particular device for free, just raise your hand and it's yours. Okay. For those who raised their hand, you don't want this device. When you get your hardware wallet, always make sure you buy it from a trusted vendor. It's in its original packaging, which hasn't been tampered with. I could have manipulated the device, and trust me, you don't want to safeguard your wealth with this device. On a side note, I have no idea how to manipulate devices, but you get the point. So, sorry, nobody is getting this Trezor. Sorry. For many newcomers, self-custody doesn't just feel different. It feels foreign. We grow up trusting banks. We forget passwords and click reset. We call customer support when something goes wrong. But self-custody flips this pattern completely. Now you are the bank. There is no helpline. There is no password reset button. We throw a lot of jargon on newcomers. Hot wallet, cold wallet, backup, passphrase, trustless, firmware, air-gapped, secure element, multi-sig, multi-share. Sorry? Something's wrong here. Often, you can hear about different self-custody strategies. Hardware wallet plus backup, passphrase on top of backup, collaborative custody, seedless wallets, geographical distribution of shares. When you ask what strategy is the best for you, you can hear that it depends on your needs. It depends on your current life situation. That's true, but how does that help newcomers who get even more confused? And that's not all. Self-custody is just one part of the story. Another part is Bitcoin. Bitcoiners tend to say that Bitcoin is simple, at least when they compare Bitcoin to shitcoins. And here we go again. There is more jargon. Blockchain, derivation path, private keys, fresh address, change address, dust limit, UTXO, SegWit, Taproot, Lightning. For many newcomers, Bitcoin is quite complicated. Sometimes it's actually quite overwhelming. And by the way, she seems to be determined to accept the challenge. But many are not. It's too new. It's too different. Determination is a good thing. You feel like, I can get through this. But then you realize there's more. For many people, the first Bitcoin experience isn't a wallet. It's an exchange. Exchanges demand their IDs, their address, even their face. Some people think that this is the only path. They consider KYC as safe and normal. And too often, once they buy Bitcoin, they keep it sitting there on the exchange. And for those who are aware of self-custody, they are often afraid to try it, take it off the exchange, or they don't even know how to do it. And there's more. Fake websites, imposters, airdrop scams, malware, drainer apps, address poisoning, urgent emails, support impersonators. I can assure you that our customer support at Trezor deals with victims of phishing way too often. People lose a lot of money These are quite sad stories. We often hear people lose their entire life savings. They send coins to different addresses or even different chains. Dealing with tip kits where people got scammed is our everyday bread. These are very emotional and very difficult to deal with. Let me share with you some examples we encounter at Trezor. You write down your backup. And you probably know that the correct order of words is very important. We had a user who told us that he mixed up his order of words on purpose, so if anyone finds them, they are not able to access his funds. He created a pattern to make sure he's able to restore the order. But after some time, he forgot the pattern and was unable to access his funds. And there is actually a lesson here. Everyone should regularly check their setup, not to forget any important details. In self-custody, it's quite normal that you don't access your wallet for weeks, months, or even years. So, how do we assure wide and successful Bitcoin adoption? How do we assure that people are not afraid to use Bitcoin and feel confident in self-custody? I don't have an ambition to give you any miraculous solution, and I don't even think such solution exists. But let's break it down, and let's try to find some possible approaches and solutions. We at Trezor offer Trezor Expert Service to help people on their journey. Our awesome Trezor experts spend hundreds of hours speaking directly to our customers one-on-one, guiding them through their first experience with self-custody. These are normal, everyday people, often skeptical, often scared, often burned. I had a conversation with every single Trezor expert about their experience with our users. And what we learned isn't only about self-custody, Bitcoin, or terminology. It's actually about people. And I will explain what I mean by that in the next couple of minutes. Let's start with something we don't talk that often about, is the body. Some of our users, especially the older ones, face very real physical limitations. Fading eyesight, limited dexterity, shaky hands. Trezor experts shared with me some examples they experienced during the sessions. There was a customer who joined the session with a headlamp just to be able to read the display. Another customer brought in the magnifying glass for the same reason. Or there was a couple, and the customer asked their partner to press the buttons on the device for them. Some people are really determined. They are resourceful, and we should not make them work this hard to participate. I think all of you know this meme, right? And I think we should do the same. And I don't mean introducing porn to self-custody. I mean larger trusted displays. And that's just one example. We, of course, have to focus on many, many improvements in the future. Many people come to us after something bad happens. Scammers take advantage of them. Entire user balances got drained. People got tricked into address poisoning and sent substantial amounts to scammers' address. And basically, we deal with such tickets and everything, like, as I mentioned, way too often. And the thing is, once they are on our sessions and they got somebody who understands their fear, that really helps. The next is like information overload. There is a lot of new and weird words. I've mentioned many of them already. Resources on the internet are a jungle. There are simply too many of them. You have YouTube, Reddit, forums, Telegram groups, Discourse, Reddit, and so on. Often, you can encounter contradictory information. Concepts are explained differently. There's a confusion about terminology. Many people aren't tech-savvy. Some don't know how to open new tabs on a browser. There are people who write down their backup incorrectly, even after checking it twice. What they need isn't a manual. They need a guide. So what actually helps? How do we turn fear into confidence? How do we turn confusion into clarity? First, we listen. That's it. We just listen. And we are patient. If you read our Trustpilot reviews for the service, patience is actually mentioned and appreciated very often. When someone feels heard, they start to relax. And we receive the feedback that those sessions are actually the first time people don't feel stupid asking questions about Bitcoin and self-custody. And that's where the trust begins. I couldn't help it and I had to use picture of stick here. So anyway, metaphors work really well, and also the common words. We stopped saying seed phrase. We say, this is your backup. We explain hot wallets as public lockers. We explain cold wallets as safes in your homes. And suddenly, the concepts aren't scary. They become familiar. And we go slowly, step by step. First, we focus on backup. That's a vital thing. Without a super clear understanding about how backup works, you can't move forward. Next, check your backup. Make 100% sure it's correct. All clear? Fine. Let's proceed to a test transaction and treat it as another milestone. Because confidence doesn't come from understanding everything. It comes from feeling the progress. And we are far from done. We realized that we need to tailor our learning experience. Some of our users who joined the session asked for follow-up sessions to gain more confidence and a bit more advanced topics. And for those who need more time or ask for more time, we are actually building or developing new service in the near future. So stay tuned. Our goal is to help our customers grow and become confident in using and protecting their Bitcoin. There is always but. Such service doesn't scale well. Once we enter the manic retail-driven Bitcoin bull market phase, the demand grows exponentially. You need to find and train the right people. You need to adjust processes, structure, management. And that takes time. We are talking about weeks and months, so it's impossible to serve masses instantly. Of course, we could offer online courses or AI-driven trainings, but this does not replace human interaction with all of its features. So how do we move forward? How do we assure that next millions of people stepping into Bitcoin and self-custody don't just get in, but they stay in confidently? How do we assure that most of the Bitcoin doesn't end up locked up in custodial solutions? How do we assure that Bitcoin is used as it was intended? That's a very challenging task indeed. If self-custody is freedom, then our tools should feel like allies. Simplification is the key. We have to pursue simplified interfaces with minimalist views, clear language, and hidden advanced features. Contextual tips and explanations need to be presented exactly when needed. Mental models differ greatly from traditional banking, and we need to bring our tools closer to what people are used to. We have to enhance accessibility. Innovations like collaborative custody or assisted backups can significantly reduce anxiety. Things like biometric authentication or AI-based fraud detection can enhance users' comfort. Confidence also grows in communities. Localized and culturally relevant education with tailored messaging for different regions is important. Community meetups are great for interactive workshops and hands-on experience. These are also important for regular enforcement and follow-ups to really build the lasting confidence. Forests don't grow from the top down. They grow from the ground up, slowly, steadily. And that's what we need to build. Not just adoption, but depth. Not just wallets, but wisdom. Help one person, then another. This is the way how we have to build long-lasting and reliable systems. They have to become rooted in the society. They have to become natural. If we do this right and stay clear, patient, and focused, self-custody doesn't have to feel scary anymore. It can actually become quite natural. I know this is probably the hardest and slowest thing to achieve, but it's the most essential one. We should not let nation-states, banks, or funds to capture all the Bitcoin. And this responsibility lies on every single one of us. So be that fucking legend and onboard families, friends, and relatives to Bitcoin. Thank you.
Secure your BTC Prague 2026 ticket at the lowest possible price now.